Hello, I'm Richard Hooper and this is SatTV Week. Now I'm pleased to be joined by Kurt Riegelman of Intelsat. Kurt, Intelsat in Asia, fleet expansion, what's happening?
Well, first off, it's good to be here and glad to be in communication again. Yes, Intelsat, we're continuing to invest in the region. At this point in time, if you look at 2012 and into 2013, we have 5 different spacecraft that we're launching. 4 of those will have an effect in Asia Pacific. So some are new spacecraft like IS-22, some are replacement spacecraft like IS-19 that we just launched to replace IS-8. So as a global company, we continually look to replace and evolve our fleet. This year we're doing 6 spacecraft total and into the first quarter of next year. And there's really 3 themes that are coming out of that. First is we're replacing our global video platforms. So IS-8, 9, and 10, Latin America, Asia, Indian Ocean region, those 3 will be replaced this year as part of the campaign. The second part is to lay out our global Ku-band mobility fabric. Asia-Pac plays a big role in that. So on IS-19 and a couple other spacecraft, we have a big piece of that mobility fabric. And then also just continued service and support for broadband. We're seeing continued growth both in cellular backhaul, in corporate networking, and social welfare type services. So, those 3 things we're addressing with the fleet expansion.
Now in the region, what sort of trends are we seeing?
Well, I think we can break them up into 3 things. There's media, network services, and government. Right. So I manage our commercial part of our business, and I have a counterpart that does government. But we've done some very interesting things. So we'll start there with IS-22. We have a hosted payload for the Australian Defence Force there, so it's UHF. This marks one of the first big payloads we've been able to get in terms of hosted payload, but we see more of that business coming throughout the region. Whether it's governments looking for their own kind of satellite, instead of taking their own satellite, they can take space and nest into our spacecraft, or it's specific government payloads, things like UHF, observation, scientific missions that we can host. This is about our 4th payload of this type, either UHF, or we have some cases where we're augmenting GPS systems as well. And so a WAS payload in the States, for example, but we're doing more and more of this because the governments understand that we can be fast, reliable, and to market much sooner than they could do some of their large government systems. I mean, this UHF program is 3 years start to finish up, so great success. And we see more of that in the Asia-Pac region. From a media standpoint, I think if you look at the basic fundamentals, we see occasional use growing, more and more content demand. So people are looking, especially as HD rolls out, how do I get late-breaking news, sporting events, live events back in to really get consumers, get the eyeballs, and differentiate their product as programmers, right? So that's continuing to grow. We're seeing more cable distribution, both for DTH, but for cable plants itself, through HD, right? So more people converting straight to HD. And we're also seeing more purposing, so we're seeing more regionalization of feeds, more and more language differentials, more and more content differentials, which is growing the bouquets, right? So it's not just taking the same thing and putting it everywhere, it's really regionalizing for ad sales, for content, and again, to keep the consumer, right? So that business is continuing to grow, and one of the reasons that we're coming in and refreshing the whole global video fleet. DTH continues to grow. It's probably one of the best applications for satellite with that one-to-many kind of relationship. And so, within India, within Indonesia, with different markets, we're continuing to see growth in DTH as an industry, right? Whether or not a certain operator has a satellite in the right position is a different story, different discussion. But we ourselves are benefiting from this growth. Regional players are, as others. So we all see this as a growing application. On the network service side, again, it's broadband, it's explosion of handhelds, internet capability, cellular backhaul, so that is continuing to grow. We see that in both C and Ku-band services throughout the region. We're reinvigorating sort of our satellite service providers and partners up front. Got a new team in the office now and really rebuilt the team in the region. They're out, really working with satellite service providers to be that front end for us. We can't do it all ourselves. We need very valuable key partners to build those applications with end users to do things like cable restoration, to do the corporate enterprise banking networks, ATM throughout the islands, throughout the region. So we see growth in all those sectors.
Now, you've recently introduced the EPIC system.
Yes, we have.
Why? Who's it aimed to compete against?
Okay.
And what's it for?
Well, really, it's more than aiming to compete against anybody. It's more an answer to our customers. Epic is a platform and a payload type that we will be putting within the Intelsat fleet. So it's not a single solution or system that we're trying to deploy, but it just becomes part of the fabric of the Intelsat fleet. And if you start at how do we create value as a company for our customers, it starts with our spectral rights, right? So Intelsat has a unique position. We have a lot of slots and we have a lot of rights for different for different frequencies. So C, Ku, Ka. Many of our competitors don't have that luxury. They have to get what they can get. In many cases, it's Ka band. Yeah. So they end up with a single band system, usually optimized around consumer broadband. And the systems that are built for that are great. We don't do a lot of consumer broadband. Our customers are B2B, our customers are M2M type applications, so we're looking for how do we build for them. So we had a long discussion with them, and what came back loud and clear was, I need an open architecture. Don't drive me towards a single platform. I need to use the infrastructure I have today to continue my business because they have such a big investment. B, please don't try to put me again into a single frequency solution. So we looked at it and came back and said we can do this kind of a play and a layer in our fleet at C, Ku, Ka, using the right frequency to match the application. So it's not like we're trying to make all the applications go to a certain frequency. We can use whatever one is the right tool. And what we're really seeing is, again, the growth in connectivity. If you look at all the studies about internet, the internet penetration, Asia Pacific, Africa, Latin America, yeah, it's okay, but there's still a long way to go. All the bits are rising. Everybody's becoming, demanding more data throughput, whether it's cellular devices or at work on your computer. It's just growing exponentially. So we've seen a lot of reports from Cisco and those kind of things. So our customers are coming back and saying, satellite has to be more relevant for that space. I need a different cost per bit, cost per hertz ratio to be able to either have more throughput on my current infrastructure or maybe start getting into lower cost, smaller terminals to open up my addressable markets. So that's the way we really see Epic. It's a tool that allows people to do more throughput on the existing, but as we go into the future, sort of evolve their products, their networks to smaller terminals, lower cost, and they can open up their market and drive more business. So that's the key for us. It's all about our customers, what they wanted, the demands they're looking for, and letting them control their infrastructure, their network, and not handing them something and say, be a reseller of my service. It's more, here's the tools to build your own unique business, go. And that's what was really resonating well with them at this point.
Looking forward, what are Intelsat hoping to achieve over the next 12 months?
Well, I think, globally, it's educating everybody about the Epic system, continuing with the continuing with the deployments that we're having right now. So we'll get through our summer here of 3 launches, and then we've got a 4th launch that we're going to deploy. And it's just growing the fleet. So our product and services right now kind of range from Intelsat 1, where we have terrestrial offerings, to our current satellite fleet of wide beam designs that are very efficient, but then into the Epic mode. So we're going to be working with customers, the customers that can take advantage of Epic, because it's not going to be everybody, to help them, educate them, and show them how they can use the different tools to continue to create new applications for their end users. I think, from an Intelsat standpoint, the region, specifically Asia Pacific, we're going to continue to build the team, improve customer service, improve responsiveness, keep driving for Intelsat quality that we have in the region, and help our customers, twofold. One, there's the regional customers within Asia Pac. We're going to continue to provide services there, but also be their gateway for global service. And then obviously we have our international customers that we bring into the region. So continuing to craft services around both sets of customers.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.